The Young and the Restless spoilers shock, Saturday's Weekly September 7th, 2024. Genoa City was never a place for the faint of heart. It was a town where power plays and family dynamics intertwined, creating a web of alliances and betrayals that could change at any moment. In the latest chapter of this ongoing saga, Nikki Newman found herself at a crossroads, frustrated by the lack of progress in Victor's plans and ready to take matters into her own hands. Nikki's growing frustration. Nikki Newman had always been a formidable force within the Newman family, balancing her loyalty to Victor with her own ambitions. However, recent events had left her feeling sidelined and overlooked. Victor had promised her that they would oust Billy Abbott and reclaim what was rightfully theirs. But his plans were taking longer than she anticipated, and her patience was wearing thin. Nikki had once held the position of CEO at Newman Enterprises, and she longed to reclaim her place at the helm. She could no longer stand idly by while Victor's strategies dragged on, and she certainly couldn't tolerate Adam sitting in the CEO chair at Newman Media, a position she believed should be hers. Adam, with his turbulent past and frequent bouts of recklessness, was not someone Nikki trusted to steer the company in the right direction. Feeling betrayed and impatient, Nikki decided it was time to assert herself. She approached Victor with a firm demand. She wanted Adam removed from his position immediately. "I've waited long enough, Victor," she said, her voice steady but filled with frustration. "It's time for me to step up. I know I can lead Newman Media better than Adam ever could." Victor, taken aback by Nikki's directness, tried to calm her down. "Nikki, trust me. There's a plan, and it's going to work. We just need more time," he assured her. But Nikki was done with waiting. "Time is something we don't have, Victor. And frankly, I'm starting to think you're more interested in Adam's success than mine," she retorted, her words cutting deep. Adam, who overheard the conversation, felt a sting of betrayal. His mother's lack of faith in him and her eagerness to take his place only fueled his resolve to prove her wrong. The power struggle at Chancellor Abbott. Meanwhile, across town, another power struggle was brewing at Chancellor Abbott. Billy Abbott had been leading the company, but his recent personal entanglements had caused concern among the board members and shareholders. Chancellor, who held significant shares in the company, had grown increasingly frustrated with Billy's leadership, or lack thereof. Chance believed he had the vision and stability needed to guide Chancellor Abbott back to its former glory, and he wasn't afraid to make that known. Billy, however, was not one to back down from a challenge. When Chance suggested they share the CEO position to bring balance and direction to the company, Billy flatly refused. "This is my company, Chance. I don't need a babysitter," he snapped, his pride clearly wounded. Chance, remaining calm but firm, countered, "Billy, this isn't about babysitting. It's about making sure Chancellor Abbott thrives. Look at the state of the company, it's going downhill, and we both know it. I have just as much stake in this as you do, and I won't sit back and watch you run it into the ground." The tension between them escalated, leading to a heated argument that echoed through the office halls. It became clear that the dispute wasn't going to be resolved through words alone. Chance decided it was time to take a more formal approach. He called for an emergency shareholders meeting, insisting that Jill Abbott, the matriarch of the family and a significant stakeholder, be present. "We'll let the shareholders decide who's fit to lead this company," Chance declared, leaving Billy fuming. A new alliance and an unexpected proposal. While the business battles raged on, another more personal story was unfolding between Summer Newman and Chance Chancellor. Summer, who had been through her own set of trials in Genoa City, had been spending more time with Chance. Their relationship had grown closer, and they enjoyed each other's company. During one of their dinners, Summer brought up a delicate topic. "Chance, I've been thinking. Harrison might need a more stable home environment soon. Would you mind if he stayed with us for a while, if it comes to that?" she asked, her eyes searching his for any sign of hesitation. Chance, who had met Harrison a few times, had grown fond of the boy. Harrison was polite, well-mannered, and easy to get along with, qualities that made him easy to welcome into their lives. Without a second thought, Chance replied with a smile, "Of course, Summer. Harrison's a great kid. I'd be happy to have him stay with us. It'll be good for him to be in a stable and loving environment, especially with everything going on." Summer felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had been worried about how Chance might react, but his response was better than she had hoped. They continued their dinner, both feeling more connected and optimistic about the future, despite the chaos that surrounded them. Jack's reaction and a brewing feud. Back at the Abbott mansion, Jack was reeling from his confrontation with Billy and the news about Lily's alleged alliance with Victor Newman. His anger was simmering just below the surface. The idea that Lily, someone he had trusted, could be working against his family with their greatest rival was more than he could bear. He needed to act, and he needed to act fast. Jack decided that he wouldn't just sit back and watch as his family and company were undermined. He would confront Lily directly and demand answers. But before he did, he wanted to make sure he had all his pieces in place. If Lily was indeed colluding with Victor, he needed to be prepared for whatever might come next. He reached out to his legal team, preparing for a possible internal investigation and positioning himself to take swift action to protect his company and his family. The calm before the storm. As Genoa City braced for the inevitable fallout from these various conflicts, the air was thick with tension. Nikki's impatience and demand for power, Billy and Chance's leadership clash, and Jack's quest for the truth were all converging into what promised to be an explosive showdown. Each player in this complex game was preparing for battle, arming themselves with whatever they needed to come out on top. Nikki, unwilling to wait any longer, began making moves of her own within Newman Enterprises, seeking allies who might support her claim to leadership. Victor, sensing her growing unrest, knew he had to either bring her back into the fold or risk losing her support altogether. Adam, feeling the sting of his mother's betrayal, vowed to prove himself worthy of the Newman name, even if it meant standing alone. Billy, faced with the possibility of losing control of Chancellor Abbott, prepared for a fight, knowing that his leadership was on the line. Chance, confident in his vision for the company, was ready to challenge Billy in front of the shareholders, believing that his experience and level-headedness would prevail. And in the midst of all this, Summer and Chance found themselves navigating their growing relationship, hoping that amidst the chaos, they could find a sense of normalcy and build a future together. As the sun set over Genoa City, the stage was set for a series of confrontations that would determine the future of its most powerful families. Loyalties would be tested, alliances would shift, and nothing would ever be the same again. However, Jack's plan, while well-intentioned, was not without its risks. He knew that by going after Lily, he might provoke a retaliation not just from her, but from Victor as well. The Newmans were not known for taking attacks lightly, and Victor had a long history of hitting back twice as hard. This move could reignite the Abbott-Newman feud, a rivalry that had cost both families dearly over the years. Moreover, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the story than he knew. Lily had never been one to act without reason. Was she really betraying them, or was there something deeper at play? And if she was in league with Victor, what was her endgame? Jack knew he needed to find out the truth before making his next move. But for now, Jack was resolute. He would protect his family and his company at all costs, and if that meant going to war with Lily and the Newmans, so be it. The Abbotts had weathered worse storms before, and Jack was determined that they would come out on top once again.